copyrights at all. It's hot as fuck today. It's a very, very hot one. Today is June 21st, 2025. This year is halfway through it. Just out here gardening, man. This year is fucking a double bubble, man. Gotta deal with the fucking wind, hot ass sun, dry ass heat. Last year it was just the weird ass sun burning my shit up like a fucking UV light. That shit was just so damn hot, burning my fucking situation down to the ground. But you know it is what it is, right? You gotta nurture your shit. You know, keep it alive. It's a living entity. It's a living thing. So it's like, damn, you don't want to put all this work in and let the shit die out. That shit is very it's very discouraging. Almost 3 months in doing this shit, and starting to become a challenge with the nature. You know what I'm saying? With nature, it do what it does, but sometimes it ain't a good thing. Man. But nevertheless, here put some positive vibes in your timeline. Reading from my motivation and inspirational book, Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. Enjoying peace in His presence. Today is some inspiration from July. Oops, this is the wrong month. June 21st. I guess we need to read July 21st and see what it is because it opened up to it. Sometimes, these verses and scriptures speak to you, whether you're trying to find something that finds you. So this is what found me today. Plus, I have another page that's willing to pop out, but we'll get to that in a bit. Rest in my presence when you need refreshment. Resting is not necessarily idleness, as people often perceive it. When you relax in my company, you are demonstrating trust in me. Trust is a rich world. Trust is a rich word, laden with meaning and direction for your life. I want you to lean on me. Trust and be confident in me. When you lean on me for support, I delight in your trust and confidence. Many people turn away from me when they are exhausted. They associate me with duty and diligence, so they try to hide from my presence when they need a break from work. How this saddens me, as I spoke through my prophet Isaiah, and returning to me and resting in me, you shall have saved in quietness. You should be saved in quietness, and trust shall be your strength. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5. My apologies. I got people hitting me up on different apps. I hate when people call me on Facebook and shit like, what up, Nene James? Nene Jones, my bad. Peace and blessings. But yeah, what I'm doing right now is a money making activity. If you start a business, you start anything, you got to work on that shit. A lot of things in life, people want it to be microwave success. You put it in a few minutes, then you got your results. But unfortunately, that's a false narrative of life, especially when development is involved. It's a process. A lot of people don't trust the process that they get started, and they don't trust the vision that they had, and so therefore they easily give up and never see what's on the other side of their efforts, what's waiting on them, what kind of success is there. With this digital marketing, I have a vision. My vision hasn't come to pass, but that doesn't mean the process isn't working. I had to continuously push this progress out so that the process would be more easier, more understandable, and the results would be there, tangible, set in stone from the work that I put in, my efforts. Only way that you can win a race is being involved. Only way that you can win a prize is being a participant. Only way you can win in life is by living. A lot of people have dreams, but those dreams are just a thought in the mind until you actually take steps, actionable steps, and making it happen. One thing I learned about when the conscious mind gives you downloads, you have a thought that's something that's uplifting, motivational, inspirational, whatever the case may be. What up, Z Dot? Peace and blessings. Also, as y'all tuning in, let me know where y'all are watching from. I appreciate to know where y'all from. Some of y'all I've seen before, some of y'all my first time, but nevertheless, I'm Aaron Glenn, a private personal consultant. I advocate for mental health awareness as well. And I'm a business consultant. I help businesses make money online and individuals scale their business up and learn how to make a dominant presence online. I have digital products for sale, master resale rights, and I make money online. I put out educational videos, I put out inspirational videos, and also on my website, I drop out weekly newsletters for those of you who are looking for tips and tools on how to manage anxiety and stress, and those of you who are looking for multiple streams of income. With a 2-hour workday, I teach you high income earning skills. Now, this isn't a disclaimer. Disclaimer. I mean, this isn't what you can make. It's just an opportunity, and it's possible the results that I have. Everybody results differ depending on what efforts they put in and the timing that they put into their situation and or craft. And if you don't really understand what I'm saying, it's the same as like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They all playing basketball, but they all not having the same skill level because they all don't put the same effort and work or practice. The same as with Michael Phelps, the swimmer, and uh, Usain Bolt, the runner. Everybody's running their own pace, but not everybody's strong enough and mentally prepared enough to actually go all the way. Some people give up quick because they know that adversity is right there and there's a challenge. It's easy to be comfortable and not deal with challenges. Like with this heat burning up my plants and just being out there having to deal with the nature and it's fucking hot. And at nighttime I gotta deal with these weird, creepy animals, all type of stuff. But it's something I want from doing this all, and it's not going to deter me from putting that work in and that action. What up, Ethan Pies? That's a dope name. What up? What up? So yeah, despite the circumstances, despite the situation, despite what shit might look like or feel like, overall, it's about meeting my end goal and seeing it come to pass. So despite this heat, despite the fucking windy ass wind, despite the bugs eating my shit up, it is what it is. And I'll be reaping the fruits of my labor as time go by. And time is inevitable. It's gonna go, continuously go, whether you want it to or not, which means it's bound to happen. That's what inevitable means. And I won't be giving all these big ass words because, try to keep it simple. Try to be down to earth so people can understand, not trying to be sounding smart or looking smart, just expressing who I am and what I am. I don't really like the group shit either too. Like, I got a lot of different groups. I mean, they all it's nice to have community, nice to have support. Sometimes that shit could be overwhelming though, with I'm trying to do some shit, I'm focused on some shit and I got all these messages. Some of the shit I need to look at though, I'm getting emails for settlements and shit like that. I have digital payment cards and I be wanting to know if it's money in my inbox, in my emails, that is. Not as far as on Messenger and all the other shit people calling me from or bugging me about. Like, I'm on Facebook a lot. Motherfucker, you see me with the red. When a motherfucker live on Facebook, motherfuckers see me on there, they hurry up, popping in my inbox, calling me and shit. Like, come on, dog. Just because you see me on Facebook don't mean I'm available to talk or to chit chat or whatever the fuck. I'm doing what I'm doing. When I get on here, it's a different form, it's a different feel, it's a different situation. Like we chit chat, we talk. I'm working on my craft. I'm trying to build my page, so I don't mind doing that here. And plus, when we communicate, y'all sit there, hit me up in the chats, and we just engage like that. It's live interaction. It ain't y'all like hitting me up on the phone like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck what you talk about. And especially for people who only hit me up to ask for something. Like Kanye said, they ask you how you doing. Then the next sentence is, can I have this or can I hold that? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. If you one of them type of motherfuckers, you make people don't want to fuck with you. And one thing I know for a fact, people that's doing for themselves, motherfuckers don't mind helping them. When you helping yourself, people don't mind helping you. That don't mean motherfuckers want to see you win or that they is gonna help you, but it's just more likely that they will. When you ain't out here working on yourself or doing shit for yourself and you out begging everybody, motherfuckers don't want to deal with you. They don't want to deal with that type of energy. Especially motherfuckers out here doing whatever they got to do to make something happen for themselves. It don't matter what you do, as long as you're doing something. You feel me? Like everything ain't for everybody. Now everybody has the mindset to become an entrepreneur. Now everybody has the mindset to scale up in any company or business, become a manager or whatever fucking experiences you desire in life. Not everybody has the courage to go for it. So with that being said, it's just like, if we moving forward in the same direction, then we can move forward together. But if we not moving forward in the same direction, in the sense of us moving together at all. Not to say I ain't gonna support you and I don't support what you're doing, especially if it's something positive. You know, whatever you got to do to make it about the hood, like Tupac said, I ain't mad at you. But if you ain't doing shit to better your situation, and you sitting around here hitting the motherfucker up every time you see them online, you think they got some motion or whatever the fuck, and you want to come start asking them for shit. I don't like that type of shit. You know, I don't like fucking with people like that. It ain't hard to tell when a motherfucker ain't working on themselves, you know. And not to say that I'm judging people either, but it's just that energy, dog. It's like you come at me with pure energy, I could use it and do something with it. Just like this little lighter, right? It's broke, but it has enough energy to make some shit happen. It's useful still. No matter what it looks like, it has value, it has purpose. And that's the same as with people, no matter what they look like. You'll find out soon if they're full or empty, you know. Usually you can tell by what come out of the motherfucker mouth, like what they're about. You can only hide who you are for so long, then you start speaking on who you is, because can't nobody hide themselves for too long, especially their intentions. Communication is 90% nonverbal. Hold on. It's a webinar going down today, actually tonight, 2-day event. I think I missed the first day. I be having other little shit going on, like meetings or whatever. Yesterday they just did this cash drawing. I didn't win from that, but I was still needed to be present to know. They do it like this, like you sign the application or whatever. These for grants. It was only for $1,000, but you fill it out, and it's a money making activity. Most business owners they fill out for grants. It's free money. Why not, right? And what they need this for, sometimes just for their pockets, sometimes for their employers, you know, to hire staff or for payroll, supplies and or resources. Sometimes they need different type of software for to run their business automated, to automate their business. I mean, I run mine automated as well, but it's still services and products that I can use for free and or paid services that'll help it. You get more benefits, I say, more you get more tools to use when you pay for services. Just like you know, you buy a TV, but that don't mean that you got channels to watch. Now you got to pay for this subscription. Then you got to pay for this network, all that type of shit. You feel me? It's nothing different than what it is online. You use Chat GBT for free, or you could use the paid service. It's just the same as that. Just to give you an example, you know, you could go so far off some free shit, but at the same time, like it ain't nothing wrong with paying for these services. Is what they there for. One that I put y'all on too, that it costs a little bit or whatever, but especially if you're making content, like a lot of people want to make content. That's what the world's doing nowadays. Nothing wrong with it. But the thing about it, like when you start making content, people start to find out real soon, like, oh, if you don't have a niche, or you don't have anything you're passionate about, or you doing this for all the wrong reasons, you burn out quick. You might make a viral video and now you don't have anything else to do because you know you off your high real quick, and you the reason you hopped into this wasn't the reason you should be into it. Just like this, right? Like the lottery. A lot of people know like you could keep spending your money and try to win the lottery, but that don't mean you're gonna win it. Also, that don't mean that if you win it one time, you'll win it again. So it's not like nothing that you could really depend on, really count on, just going viral off one video and that be there to take you all the way through. Like, you know, it's a long term game with this content creating. And a powerful thing a lot of people won't tell y'all as far as content creators is about community. Of course, you see me on the screen, but there's people behind what I'm doing, the people that help me out as far as giving me the knowledge, giving me insights, giving me a pull up. You know, they're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this or whatever. Like, not telling me what the fuck to do, but basically giving me an insight on my customers. You know, that's what they want to see. They give me a little money from time to time, but why go against the grain? You know, why not learn a different language if it makes sense? Bengali, like, it makes sense. These people that gravitate towards me and who I talk to now, it's a language in India, Spanish. You know, just being out here trying to stay out of jail and seeing my PO from time to time. I was in a situation where I had to make strangers my friends, family, or whatever, learn the language they speak, and use the resources that was available to me. That's why I ended up learning that. It wasn't because I want to speak this or that. Like it was necessary, as far as surviving and elevating in life. I don't regret spending time to do that. I was just thinking about it too. Like I'm not no type of guy. You see my skin color, right? I'm not pro black and nothing like that. So don't expect me to be on that type of time either. I learned a lot from a lot of people. I like to be around positive people. Not to saying that it's a everyday thing. Like positive people not born positive. It's something they conscious of every day. They choosing to. These motherfuckers live on purpose. Conscious on how they interact and engage with people. That's the only difference. Not saying that it's easy for them, because I don't know. It ain't easy for me. Like shit, I have my days too. But it's how you look at life though. Like, I don't look at it like I'm oppressed black man in America, they racist, whatever, woo, woo, right? It's a fact for some people. I've experienced racism before, but it ain't my everyday life. It ain't my everyday experience with people. So I don't put myself in that box and limitate myself to who I fuck with and who I don't, or how I view people, because a lot of different people then lifted me up with these tools that I have. I learned this free way to speak Spanish, to learn this shit from a white girl. White girl taught me different little shit about different white women, different people, period. It ain't just no white girls or whatever, but it's just the fact that if I had a certain type of mindset, I would have never gained these skills from a motherfucker trying to better me in life. And then when like, oh, I see you doing this. Like the difference between different, of course you should know, but if you don't know, you don't know. And I'm a type of nigga, like, if I don't know, I don't care. If you knew before me, so what? If you didn't teach me, that's on you, right? But whatever, right? I'll figure it out when it's time. So I'm shopping. She like, hey, you know what kind you need? And this was an awareness, bringing me awareness of, you have options when you're shopping. You got different bristles, the soft, the hard, the medium. Then you got different water types. You got the alkaline, you got the uh, vitamins, you got spring, you got tap, and then you got it's just different shit, like different bars, different tissues when you shopping for tissue. If you got females in the crib, you want to have the thick kind so their nails don't scratch doing, you know what I'm saying? Like different little shit to be mindful of when you shopping for yourself, or when you just doing certain shit, you don't really be alert. I tell a motherfucker, bring awareness to you, and you start thinking about different things. Your whole world expand a little bit. The way you viewing things, the way you interacting with the world, slightly different. And you be just basically shutting yourself out and doing yourself a disservice from being judgmental to people and looking at them like a colored being. We all the same being. We all hues, humans, different colors. And that's all hue is color. I'm a colored man. Whether I'm white, black, or brown, or yellow, it don't fucking matter. I'm human. Different color hues. And that's a different story from a different day, though, a different topic. Like, I'm not here to go that route right now. But it's just something that people should know. Success is 90% mindset. A lot of motherfuckers want to be successful, but they don't want to put the work in because they afraid of being uncomfortable. It's not comfortable trying to elevate and do these things in life. When you putting all this effort in, edit these videos, or spending money on advertisement and making certain sacrifices, to be in position, that shit ain't easy at all. Of course, I want to spend my funds on having fun, but that shit is irrelevant when it's time to build. If I build a amusement park, that's something for me to have fun with. But what I'm not building right now is a type of thing like that. It's not no amusement park. I'm building financial stability, and this isn't no overnight process. The progress is definitely there. I'm seeing a lot of ways that I'm growing and evolving, especially the way that I spend money and I deal with money, how I get comfortable with money. And it's something to be cool with, you know. I'm doing this for to become wealthy and to have certain type of wealth. I need that type of tool, you know, to have money to be able to open certain doors. I need a certain type of knowledge to be able to maneuver around these situations. Like I could put you in position, but don't mean you'll maintain or hold that position if I don't give you the right tools and the right steps to gradually, continuously moving forward and moving up. I can tell you everything on how to get your credit right, but if I don't give you the necessary tools to evolve, you know, you'll be in a position where I be feeling like I'm helping you. You'll be feeling like you're getting help, but in the long run, it's not helpful at all. You'll be sitting there in the same situation that you started off in, and it'll be me wasting your time because of the things that come with this shit, you know, and I didn't pre-warn you what to expect. That's what any and with everything. Like I could show you what I'm doing, but if I don't tell you what come with this shit, once you start finding out what come with it, that might either deter you from keep going or it might uh push you to move forward, move faster, move more diligent, move more strategic, you know. That's the same as with me. Like I had opportunities, I asked for help, and it turns out like it's really just a motherfucker trying to knock you off your square in the form of something else, you know, the underlay or the overlay. Uh, and it happens time and time again, but you won't know unless uh, you know, when you're working on yourself, you don't think that you ain't mindful of what I'm talking about me when I'm doing certain shit, right? I don't think like, oh, this person ain't really trying to help or they trying to put me in a position where I might fail or they trying to run through my resources. Like I don't think like that. But when it start actually happening, then you start seeing what's what and you started moving properly. You know, you moving accordingly with people. If how you gonna fuck with them or not. And then it become a situation where, um, you know, sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's not. Like whatever, right? And I'm gonna give y'all a simple analogy on how I deal with people, how I look at people. Because shit, it's what helps me get through my days, and it's called an empty boat, right? And I'm gonna show you what this empty boat is like. I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna show you. So we both on a river, a lake, or whatever the fuck, a body of water, and we on some canoes or a boat, something that's gonna hold us up and float. Single passenger, me and another single boat, single passenger, okay, whatever. We on a narrow little hey, here come my video just popped up too. Let me show y'all. See, look, I just dropped this. I didn't even want to post this shit. So I'm like, man, fucking I don't like it. I really don't like this video, but I just posted it so I could get the shit out the way so I could go live. And look how many motherfuckers already checking it out. This me, you see, like ain't no cap. That's one thing I don't do, you know. But y'all could go watch that shit. It's on my page. Whatever. I ain't come on here to show you that shit though. I came on here to show you the boat theory. The empty boat theory. I messed it up. But let me finish telling you right quick. So we both on a narrow stream, right? One of us gotta move because or we're gonna crash, we're gonna collide. So I'm hitting the horn like, yo, 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 you see me, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you scoot to the side? Can we start to move? Which way is you going? Getting frustrated, cursing the person out or whatever, whatever. Woo. And as they get close enough to where we about to collide, I look and I see like, oh, ain't nobody in this boat. Now I just wasted a lot of energy because I thought a motherfucker intentionally trying to do something, you know, and that's what life is like a lot of times. It looks like it's intentional, but it's just how you look at life, you know. When you come to find out, like, oh, this shit ain't intentional, motherfucker either just like discernment or they stuck in their old habits or whatever the fuck the case may be, but it's never always personal. And once you start looking at life like that and people like that and situations like that, you just realize, you know, you learn from it. Like, oh, maybe this motherfucker having a bad day, or maybe they insecure and they pushing out their insecurity, like whatever the fuck it may be, you know, I don't know. But at the end of the day, you just realize like people just they just people shit. Everything a motherfucker do ain't personal. And sometimes it is, but so fuck, you know. Karma deal with people. It ain't like you need to be out here trying to fucking correct people because you don't know. And if that is the case, just don't fuck with people. Like that's a smart move on yourself, you know. You don't have to deal with certain motherfuckers. especially if they ain't better in your life or nothing like that. They on the line with your visions, your goals. I was just telling somebody about Krishan, right? All the gossip, the celebrity gossip, right? They go on there, they're like, oh, you slow. They weren't talking to me, they was talking to somebody else because he was like, dang, you know they was going together. Then I just see, I'm like, I had to tell them about themselves, like, they slow because they asking a question and they trying to find out the answer. And you fast because you know the gossip and you on. I probably ain't even say it like that, but whatever, right? It just let a motherfucker know, like, you look stupid, dog. And you talk about somebody slow because they don't know some gossip. I was like, you got a small mind, you ignorant too. Because the first thing your little mind could do is come up with an insult because you know some gossip that another motherfucker don't like. You real goofy and you lack intelligence. You couldn't even figure out that this person is just trying to find out because you just quick to respond to some shit. You didn't really read what they wrote. And you didn't even answer the question either. You just, oh, you slow. You must be slow. So I was looking at them like I tell the person that they was saying it to because they didn't really flip out. And that's the way to look at life too. Like they ain't flipping out. I ain't flipping out. And it ain't my situation. It's just an experience that I've experienced from their experience. Like damn, and that's what stops people from asking questions too from a motherfucker like that. Like, oh, you slow. Or oh, you whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like if you know some shit, teach this motherfucker. If not, then get the fuck out. Cause you knowing it is doing what? Obviously it ain't helping you to help somebody else, right? Or is boosting your ego because you know some shit. Whatever, right? Woohoo, kudos. You know some shit. I don't. But I had to tell him like that, like that's funny, dog. I'm like, the dude ain't say he was dumb or whatever, but I'm like, this funny, like you keep asking questions and you keep finding out like that. Like if a motherfucker say some stupid shit like this, then just ignore they ass like you was doing. I was trying to. But it's stuff like that, like personal attacks too. Like if a motherfucker just doing it for their ego. This look crazy, Joe. Hold on. I don't know if it's a butterfly or what. Damn, hold on. It stopped. Oh, here it did it again. If you can see it. Look at this little shit right here, dog. Man, my fucking camera, all this weak ass shit, dog. Trying to zoom in that bitch. Motherfucker stop. All right, you see it? Look. Granted, it is windy out here. That's wild in the man. Thought it was a butterfly or something, the way that motherfucker was just like that, right? Don't it look like a butterfly if you just look at it for a second? That's a leaf, though. Just but yeah, it caught my attention though. It let me know it's life. And that's the thing about like connecting with the universe. Like I wouldn't have knew if it was right there if it didn't call my attention. Like it's a lot of shit around me, but they ain't got my attention to look at the shit. They just let me know it's conscious enough to know like, hey, I'm over here doing what I'm doing. Just like you walk on the beach, it's a pile of rocks. Of course, you see the pile of rocks, but you see one in particular. Like it's just that one called out to you. Like notice me, noticing you. We notice each other. That's energy. It's life. It's like the wind. You can hear it saying things from time to time if you listen, or trees, or whatever the fuck. Like I don't know. You got to go outside and see some shit. You got to connect with the universe. If not, then you really unconnected with yourself. A lot of people they go into these mountains, into the forests and the woods or whatever, and they spend time alone so they can find themselves. The same way with what's it called? Alone, I think the TV show where they go on a remote island or somewhere in the world and they there for however many days until they the last person left. And it's like a 5, 6 people contestants. They all go into different little areas and they camping out and they just staying alone until they tap out. And they doing it for money. They are money motivated to do this. It's not just no funny games for the TV show. Of course, it's entertainment as well, but it's just to show like you find yourself in nature. And these people, they was like some people couldn't do it because they can't be alone with themselves. And it is what it is. You know, a lot of people ain't gonna work on themselves. They ain't gonna attempt that shit at all. A lot of people can't deal with themselves. They can't be alone. Not everybody who want to be around another motherfucker is miserable. And not everybody who want to be around a motherfucker ain't got their shit together. It's just some people are afraid of themselves. They're afraid of who they might see and who they might find out and who that they are, you know? It's a lot of things about myself I really don't like. But shit, it's up to me to work on that, you know, as far as the inside and character traits and stuff like that. I didn't just wake up and be like this one day. It's in my DNA, years and years and experiences. The shit that I like and I'm concerned about that sparks my attention. This is within my DNA. And this is stuff that calls to me time and time again until my experiences are complete. Let me show you this empty boat thing though. This dude. And I learned this like through different religions as well. Like, you know, I grew up Christian, semi-Christian or whatever. And it's just because like that's what they was passed down to me. That's what was passed down to them. That's all the fuck they knew, you know. Shit, nobody never really checked out anything else. I checked this shit out for myself, and I fuck around like it, you know. Islam, Buddhism, all that shit. But what I relate to most is Buddhism. I'm not here to convert anybody. You believe whatever the fuck you want, you know, whatever, right? You have your own spiritual journey experiences, but this type of shit helped me with my life, my daily life, and it get me by, just like Bible verses or whatever the fuck I decide to check into, you know. But check this out though. Some ancient knowledge, some Buddhism knowledge. Niggas who be outside with nature who know shit, you know what I'm saying? Living in a monastery following the path of enlightenment. One day, he sought to deepen his meditation practice and decided to venture away from his monastery to meditate alone, away from the familiar surroundings. The monk rose at dawn and began a long journey to a remote lake. He then set out in a small boat and rowed towards the center of the peaceful waters. There, he anchored the boat, closed his eyes, and began to meditate in solitude. As he sat in deep concentration, he felt the peacefulness of his surroundings, and his mind began to settle into a state of calm. But then, suddenly, he felt a jolt, as if something had hit his boat. The monk kept his eyes closed, but as he thought about another boat, his anger started to rise. The monk thought to himself that he came to the lake so that no one would disturb him, and still here came another boat, and bumped into his own. This thought made him angry. By the time he was about to open his eyes to see what had happened, he was ready to scream at the boatman who dared to disturb his meditation. But when he opened his eyes, he just saw an empty boat, not tied up, floating on its own in the middle of the lake. At that moment, the monk realized that the anger is within him and it merely needs a bump of an external object to provoke it out of him. It's commonly believed that anger is a natural emotion for all human beings, typically triggered by the words or actions of others. However, the truth is that anger actually resides within us. Think about all the times you were hit by an empty boat and let your anger dominate you. All it takes is a slight bump from an external object to trigger it. Whenever you encounter a person or situation that provokes your anger, take a moment to pause, breathe, and remind yourself that the other person can merely be an empty boat. Anger is inside you. Thanks for watching. And yeah, that's dope, right? Like, what I do is I teach people, like, it's all right to feel how you feel. That doesn't mean that that's what you are at the moment or that's what you always is or always going to be. Um, it's all right to express these emotions, to feel these emotions, but to keep in mind, it's just an experience, you know? And what you do with that experience does matter. So whenever you're having a experience that's beyond your control, like one of these high emotions, which is anger, sometimes fear, doubt, lack, just take a moment and realize that it's already a part of you and that Sometimes it's not about what's going on or what's happening. It's just about the experience you need to either sharpen yourself or to analyze yourself. I say swords sharpen swords. That doesn't mean that two sharp people aren't going to have differences. The way that you sharpen me up is from my weaknesses, and the way that I sharpen you up is from your weaknesses and my strengths, and vice versa. It's just like the monk and the sensei, right? At one point, the student becomes better than the teacher. But at the same token, the student is always grateful for the lessons they've learned from the master. And that's the only way that it's passed down, from being open to learn from someone else. Not everybody is going to lead you the right way, though. That's where discernment comes in. And another reason why I say semi-Christian, even with that shit, right? I was dealing with this dude or whatever, spiritual journey. And when you don't know, you just don't know. I was blind to what was going on. I was doing like little rituals and shit, different little shit that I'm thinking is gonna help me be closer to God and have a relationship to God and whatever, right? Young, dumb, don't know. So discernment did come on me, and after a while, I started noticing the things that was happening in my life was tied to this man. These demons I was seeing, the night terrors. You can look it up. Like, it ain't a fun experience, but people will bring these things to you with the witchcraft they do to disguise it like it's something cool, or something helpful. And it didn't dawn on me that it was coming from this guy until, like, just one day I had an epiphany out the blue. It was just like, And matter of fact, this is what opened my eyes. I had this packet, right? Got it in the mail. We used to send each other shit back and forth. One thing ain't gonna cap though, like with the money shit he had me doing, it kept money in my pockets. Always, always. So I was just sending it back, as a blessing, like, yeah, what you doing at work? And as a token of my appreciation, here go a few bucks. And we kept doing that for months and months, probably even years. I don't know how long. But it got to a point where I didn't do one thing. And it was some rosemary leaves and some mint, and I was supposed to grow it, but I felt weird about it, like, like, I don't know about this task, this object. I ain't really feeling it. So I never did it. And then lo and behold, like the next night, it was like, because I had put it to the side, I thought about it, I was gonna like meditate on it and see what I should do with it. And someone was just telling me, like, just keep it to the side. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't open the pack, don't do nothing with it. So that same night, I just was uneasy. I didn't really rest like that. I was like tossing and turning. My spirit was disturbed. And this is the first time something like this ever happened to me, right? Like, I'm in my dreams, I'm fighting, but I'm half sleeping, I'm half woke, and I wake up with my arm just automatically swinging like this, like trying to hit somebody. And I was like, damn, I know people talking in their sleep, but I ain't know people actually move in their sleep, especially not me. So that kind of like intrigued me. I was like, wow, what kind of dream was that? Like, and I'm waking up to actually move my hand and shit. It was like an automatic thing. So that right there was like a red flag. Like, what's going on? I kind of brushed past it. I thought about it for a minute. I kind of pondered that thought, like, what kind of sleep and whatever, right? It was something new to me, a new experience. And it's story time, by the way. So what happened was I laid back down. I was just like, wow, that was an intense dream. And I say that to say this because this is what the next part comes along. In my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm having an intense dream. It ain't really too much to really worry about. Go back to sleep. This time, boom, I just feel like a motherfucker jumped on me, right? Like, just jump on my chest. I'm down. What the fuck? And before I could even like react, now all of a sudden I can't breathe. I'm like, it's going quick. All these things is happening back to back to back, simultaneously, all at once. It seems like. But first, a thump on my chest, like, man, what the fuck? So I'm thinking I'm probably fighting again. I got hit this time, whatever, right? But not only that, I can't breathe. I can't move. So now I'm getting nervous. Like, what the fuck going on? Like, I can't breathe. I can't. I'm 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 panicking now at this point because I'm like, damn, I can't breathe, Joe. Like, what the fuck, And something pushing my chest down. So I'm like, damn, you wouldn't settle for Bateman when this shit getting real weird, B. So as all this going on, and I had just fell back to sleep. It's like, damn, I'm getting beat up while I go to sleep, right? And I'm curious to see who this is and what's going on. Like, what the fuck, you know? Because the first person I kind of seen them in my dream when I was swinging, but I woke up and I seen my arm, so I didn't really see them like that. But I knew who my target was, and that was that. So this time I'm like, I need to see who this person is because the last person I ain't really get to see him that much, and I ain't really get to hit him because I woke up. So this time I wake up and it's like, damn, I still can't breathe. I still can't move. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I can't even talk at this point. So I'm like, nah, this too fucking weird, B. Like, I ain't never had no shit like this happen. So now I'm like, I'm fucking nervous as hell because I'm like, damn, I can't move, I can't talk, I can't breathe, nothing. And then as I'm like realizing all this shit, like this ain't no fucking dream. And I see this right in front of me, like, you know, the tallest, the tallest being you could ever see. Like, man, it's crazy. Like black, black, black. You just wake up seeing all black like this. You can see the outline of the figure. He tall as hell, whatever. Red eyes, and just sitting there looking at you like, yeah, I'll fuck you up right now. I'd kill you if I could. And it's like, you really feeling like, damn, I'm probably about to die. You're like, oh shit, this is for real. So it's like, what do I do? You know, I can't talk. I can't call nobody for help. I don't nobody really know what's going on with me right now but me. And then that's when I think like, okay, call on Jesus because you know my spiritual guidance. We talk about Jesus a lot and the power of Jesus, Yahshua, whoever you want to call him, you know. And it's like, all right. My sister told me before she passed, Sister Angela, who Team Angie is about, take to the grave with me on my wrist. But anyway, she was like calling the name Jesus, and it works. I was like, okay, that's all I could think about at the time. It's like, shit, you know, I'm dealing with some shit that physical weapons ain't finna hurt this person. It ain't gonna fucking do nothing but piss them off. So I was like, let me call on Jesus. And I did that 3 times and he disappeared. I was loose. I was able to move and breathe. And I was just sitting there trying to catch my breath. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. And then after all of that, I was just sitting there like, man, this is a real experience, you know, like what do I do? Who do I tell? Whatever. And then like I kind of brushed it off. Like maybe I was tripping, but I know what I felt. I know what I experienced, but whatever, right? This ain't no normal shit. I might not be able to tell nobody about it. Like, I don't know, whatever, right? So I have a weird dream like a couple nights later. And it almost happens again, but not as intense as it did the first time. Like since I've experienced it that time, I knew what was coming this time. Like, you know, it's like I don't know, you can kind of feel when it's about to happen, kind of like if you finna put your hand on some fire, you kind of feel before you get burned, or some cold water on you could kind of feel that cold breeze before it actually hits, like with some ice or a brain freeze, something like that. I don't know. I don't even know how tuned in people is to their feelings and shit that they feel, whatever. But the way it comes is like a heavy, heavy feeling, like, you know, the air gets thin and it's just, I mean, it's present. It just, you could feel it. You can't see anything, but you just know, like, okay. Kind of like when a storm comes, it just gets dry, or, you know, the calm before the storm type shit like that. So what you feel is like, you just feel a big, heavy presence, like a giant. I don't know if you ever seen anything massive, and you just feel like this thing is huge, something like that. But it don't feel good. Like, you know, it's like, oh shit. Like when you step outside into some heat, to some humid air, it's something like that. Like a major shift, a major experience. All these damn flies, man. That's the only thing I hate about the summertime. The fucking mosquitoes, the flies, and all this other bugs. It's already hot as hell. People be acting ignorant as hell. You know, like the heat do something to people, and these bugs that be popping out, bugging, irritating as fuck all on you. Like it's a whole world out here. Go be free, goddamn. Like the fuck is you on my face for and on me for? But yeah, like when I started like really having those experiences, like, you know, more and more. So I told my girl at the time, I was like, shit, I got some shit going on with her. Whoa, she knew. She a real spiritual person too. Like, you know, when you dealing with spiritual people, especially godly people, They fucking know when they people's going through it, or God is sending them like, man, help my child right here. You got the what it takes to help this person. So I call her, we talk, and she started opening my mind to some shit that I ain't really know about. So I started doing some research, and I come to find out, I wasn't the only one experiencing that shit, and it actually was a name for it. The name that she told me was something different than what the the collective called it. She was like, "Oh, it was a witch riding your back." That's what she told me, and I looked that up, and then that goes into some old uh, sleep paralysis and stuff like that. When I started going through the symptoms of what I experienced, and people were saying some of the things, they all call it sleep paralysis. But nevertheless, like it's a real thing going on, and it was across the globe, not just here in America, different states, but different countries. I should have put it on the video for y'all to check this out to see what I saw. It's a little scary, just to be warning you, but you can look it up. I ain't gonna scare y'all or nothing like that. It's some real shit that I experienced. It's my reality. And it's just to go to show, like, dealing with dude, like, I ain't had them type of experiences before I was fucking with dude. And when I stopped fucking with him, like, it was just a spiritual battle. Like, I had to do it on my own. And I learned spiritual powers. Like, shit, like, shit, you gotta be able to fight back. And that's some real shit. Everybody can't pray for you. Everybody ain't gonna pray for you. And you don't want everybody praying for you, because the one I had praying for me brought that other shit to me. You know what I'm saying? I was dealing with that shit for years. Motherfuckers like, oh, you, whatever, whatever. But it ain't always about what you do or what you don't do. Sometimes you just a motherfucker to get the spiritual attacks on. Kids don't come into this world already doing shit. Sometimes they see ghosts, and is it their fault? It's just a person that happened to, like, that's their experience for some whatever fucking reason. People have all different type of experiences for whatever reason the universe called for them to experience that. Whether it be good or bad. I don't know what people's calling for. I don't know your journey. I don't know your story. My story is written, and I'm just living it out now. Ain't nothing I could avoid, ain't nothing I could change. It's just waiting on me to show up. These experiences was bound for me to happen. I didn't run from it. Even if I wanted to try to run from it, I couldn't. I can't. It's gonna happen when it's time to happen. A lot of times we running from our ourselves. We running from our calling, and little do we even realize that we know we just running closer to it, quicker to what we trying to run away from. Just like Jonah, God call you to do something, you're gonna do it, no matter if you think you're doing it or not. Everything is written. Everything is already predestined. You just gotta show up and be there. Because if not, you're gonna just change the narrative of how you're gonna get there. There's plenty roads to the same destination. And the more you try to detour your journey in life on who you're supposed to be and your purpose, the more you just find different ways to get right back to where you're supposed to be. And the longer it takes for you to get there, to complete that mission. You could be sidetracked all your life doing a lot of side missions, but you'll never be fulfilled. You'll never be fully satisfied unless you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in life. Feeling that purpose, whether you're supposed to be a skateboarder and it seems like it's nothing value to that or whatever. Tony Hawk, he probably had the same thoughts, but look at the man now. Video games, successful from skateboarding. Everybody's calling is different. Everybody has something special that they need to bring to the world. And it's all about confidence. You ain't gonna be perfect at it. Like, I'm not perfect at what I do, but I'm putting it out there and I'm perfecting it over time. And that's what matters. But thanks for tuning in. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment, like, and share. Let this message reach the masses. I'm just trying to be successful. And I want y'all to be a part of my journey. So that's how you can help me and be a part of Team Angie. All my members, show up, show some love. And for those of you new to this channel, make sure you hit that sub button, notification bell. I drop every day. You'll be notified as soon as the latest drop. Peace and blessings. Team Angie.